There's a concept, Collins and Martindale, about nested theory and nested planning. So quite often we just think about a season, winning the trophy, winning this particular season. And all that this shows you is we can plan for what's happening now, but we need to be aware of what's going to happen in the next couple of years and what's going to happen over the next 10 years for that player, especially if they're in an academy, because you want them to be ready at 16, 17, 18. So what you do now, you might plan on a day-to-day, a session-to-session, but you need to put it in what's going to happen over this season, but what's going to happen in the longer term. And you can actually, we talk about periodization, but we can actually nest that plan into long-term development. So what can we do as parents, and what do we all try to do? Yeah, we try to grow their minds and their development, not just their bodies. You know, grow the good people. Physical literacy, lots of different movement, different activities, so they're not less likely to get injured, and they feel more confident about if a coach does ask them to do something else, they feel like they've got the balance, the coordination, the ability, the confidence to give it a go. Robust, independent decision makers, problem solvers. It doesn't matter, I'm going to try something different, I'm not afraid to fail. And down at the bottom, grow good rugby league people that love the game, that appreciate the community, that know that they are very, very lucky to play the game and be recognised, but they can see the big picture. And ideally, in my sport and when I coach, I try and keep that in my mind. And sometimes it's difficult, but that's what we have to try and do. If we do all that, a lot of people say, well, why doesn't it work all the time? You know, and the men's team that I coach, you know, after about 3 weeks, 4 weeks, they turned around and went, well, you tell us, you're the coach, you give us the answers, you tell us what to do. Whereas I'm trying to develop them into be independent decision makers. So why does it not always work? Well, 3 reasons in all the research that we've done. Lack of clarity, knowing who should do what does the coach do, what does the parent do, what does the club do, what does the family do, what does the individual take responsibility for, and how do you make that person or support that person take responsibility. Coherence, different messages. The PE teacher wants to win. So, well, forget about, you know, you playing for your club, we need you. Winning, winning, winning. A club might get a different message. You might have grandparents that are giving them another message. You might have friends that are giving them a different message. So this coherence of message all the way through. And ultimately, it's always about communication, isn't it? We presume, oh, the coach might be doing that, and we think we know what the coach is, why the coach is doing it. The coach might think that they know why you're doing things or why the player's doing things. The poor player sometimes gets caught in the middle and thinks, well, I think the coach wants me to do that, but I know my mum and dad want me to do that. And sometimes the communication just isn't there. So that's probably, you know, relevant as much now at this age as it is in elite pathways. So one of the things that I suggest, and again for when people watch this on the web, is there's a whole lot of activities and things that you can do if you want to try and break down some of these barriers. And my colleague Robin is going to talk to you a bit about his research, but also a number of activities you do. Everything's on the slides. You can do it. You could do it, you know, with even with the school and with all the players present, the coaches present, and all the parents present. But what's crucial is we all want the children to be as good as they can be. Down at the bottom, Zoud. You might have heard it, you might not. Vygotsky's concept, zone of uncomfortable debate. It's not a shouting match at each other. You'll all have different opinions, but you all want the same thing for the young people. So you almost need to, you know, ministerial responsibility. Right, we're going to go to this club. We're going to do, you know, agree what we agree. We know that it's going to be heated. We know people have got very strong opinions. We're passionate about things, you know. But let's just throw everything on the table. Let's get it all out in the open, the communication, and then let's agree for our club, for our academy, for our school team. This is what we're going to do for the good of the children. And it is difficult because you've got egos, you've got experience, you've got power, you know, but if you can do that at your club, that will be amazing.